Welcome to A Slob Comes Clean, the podcast. I am Dana K. White. I share my personal deslobification process. As I figure out ways to keep my own home under control, I share the truth about cleaning and organizing strategies that actually work in real life for real people, people who don't love cleaning and organizing. Thanks for joining me today. This is podcast number 425, and I'm calling it Helping Others Declutter while being respectful of them. Because isn't that the challenge, right? Both for us when we help people declutter, because not being respectful of people causes them to shut down and not want the help, right? And maybe we really, really, really want them to be successful at this. And also, this is what we want from other people. So maybe this is one you can send to someone who needs to or wants to help you declutter, right? I don't know. Anyway, this is a strategy session that I do with one of my Patreon members. We call ourselves the Kindred Spirits. We have a fun little Facebook group where everybody is so stinking lovely. And so anyway, we're going to talk about that at the end. But remember, there is a link in the show notes if you would like to know more about being a member of our Patreon community. That's who gets to do these strategy sessions with me for the podcast. Then go to patreon.com/A Slob Comes Clean. That's patreon.com/A Slob Comes Clean. Okay, here is our conversation about helping others declutter. Brenda, thank you so much for joining me today. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your unique life situation?
Well, I live in Wisconsin, where in February it's cold and hot and cold and hot. So we need all of our clothes all the time. There are 4 of us in our family, and we all still live at home. My husband is a firefighter, so he has schedules that he could be gone for a day, he could be gone for 2 days. And every day he leaves for work, or every day he works is a Friday, because he's usually off for 2 days afterwards, which means I act like every day is the weekend, which is not good for getting stuff done. I have a 23-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old daughter, and they are both in their launching period, getting the things done that young people need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
And we are 2,000 miles away from all of our family. They are out in California, so we don't have the support system, but we also don't have like the random like stuff coming in. It came in bunches. So when my mom passed away, I got a little bit of her things. When my grandma passed away, a little bit of her things. And when my dad passed away, a little bit of his things. But mostly what we're dealing with is the aftermath of 13 or 15 years of homeschooling, and now moving on into the next part of our lives. We're very active, and all of our activities come with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So we need to be able to have the seasonal things flow, but also let go of the things that season has passed.
So tell me about some things that are working well for you right now.
I have been consistent enough in doing the dishes every day that my 19-year-old told me the other day that emptying the dishwasher in the morning wasn't a problem because there's not very many dishes in there anyway.
That is a big deal. That's so great. And it's so great that she's at that point where she's seeing it, understanding it, because it's becoming the normal, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
And our laundry, because of the randomness of the schedule, I'm not home a certain day of the week, but our laundry is usually kept up in the random schedule that I have. But the other day I was home for an entire day and really needed to do laundry. So I had a laundry day the other day. And it was nice that my only job was to pay attention to whether or not it was time to move something from one machine to another or fold it and put it away immediately. And I got it all. I didn't leave a big mess at the end of the day. enough got done. And so that was very helpful.
That's nice. That's great. So tell me about something else that's working really well for you.
Well, the black trash bags they are our donate bags. And right now there are 4 large ones waiting to leave the house,
Hmm.
um, full. And my oldest daughter had a friend over who helped her. She's a child who still, as an adult, remembers the yard sale that we bought the little Dalmatian stuffed animal when she was 4.
Hmm.
Everything is precious. And her friend helped her declutter some clothes and do some things up in her room. And I had to change the bagging situation for the donations. And I noticed that there were some T-shirts that were precious to her a time ago, from Vacation Bible Schools, and they were in the donate bin. They don't fit her, but those very sentimental things were in there, and so that was really good. I try to not let my own personal sentimental stuff get in the way of what should be kept,
Yeah.
but I'm trying not to tell her when it's time for her sentimental stuff.
But she's starting to do that on her own.
She is. She is.
That's great.
In the past, she's been the kid that just appreciated that I went through her room when she was away at summer camp.
Hmm.
And this year, we were getting ready to have guests over, and she's like, "No, I don't need help this time. I want to do it on my own." So I told her what this lady on the internet says about looking for the trash first
Hmm.
and the easy stuff. And she went at it, and I think it was those ideas that helped her when she and her friend went at it, because they got a lot more out of there than I imagined. And
That's
now
wonderful.
I can ask, hey, I found one of your prom dresses in my closet. It's the jade one. What do I do with it? And she texts back donate, and she didn't ask to see it. It was just like, no, I know it's not
She's
for
got that
here anymore.
momentum. Like she's starting to
Yes.
see, oh, I could just say donate it. I mean, how nice too to just be able to tell somebody else donate it. And you literally
Yeah,
never even have to touch it. You
being my kid living at home is a pretty nice thing.
know?
But Dad and I leave randomly, and we do expect the house to still be standing and all the
Right.
animals to be alive. So they have to work when it's needed.
That's great. I love it. So tell me, what is a situation that you want to talk about?
So we had a set life that we lived when we were homeschooling. I was also pretty sick for a long time.
Okay.
I had a problem with my colon, and for years I was either sick, then I was in remission for a while. During those times, I was a more inside mom. So I knitted, and we had Playmobil all over, and just we were homeschooling. So that was that life. Then I went into remission, and we started to get active. And for reasons unknown to most people, I took calculus at age 45. And I took all 3 semesters, and I loved it. It was the most fun. And I have not knitted since then. And that was
Okay.
8 years ago. So there's some former self stuff that is still around. Then I got very sick, and had some life-saving surgeries. I had 4 surgeries in 2 years, in 2021 and 2022. Everything is fabulous.
Okay.
Everything worked out. At one point, I had a 1% chance of the ideal outcome of one of the surgeries, and I got that 1%. So
Oh,
everything is awesome.
I'm so glad.
Um, and I am over a year since my last surgery. So while I am my own unique physical situation now, I am physically stronger. I have more muscles. more endurance than I have in my whole life.
Wow.
But I am starting to put busy things in. I have a couple of part-time jobs that I'm really enjoying. Plus, we scuba dive and teach stuff together that my husband and I do. So I'm having to look at the former stuff and to be able to. It feels sentimental because my world was very small at that time, and those represent some special times. And but on the other hand, it feels like not everything of those is just mine to say, get it all out of here. Because
Yeah.
I can rip a band-aid off really well and not
So,
think
yeah,
about it
I
twice.
don't think it's all or nothing, right? Like you mentioned knitting specifically. And did you collect a lot of stuff for knitting? Do you have a large amount of supplies?
Um, I think I've got it to 2 bins.
Yeah.
I did, there were years where I decided I don't like anything made out of that stuff. And so I donated all of those. And I did a quick, don't touch anything sentimental, run through those bins. And I went from 3 to 2.
Yeah.
Um,
What, when is the last time that you did knit?
I think it was before calculus, probably 8 years,
Okay.
maybe close to 10.
Okay. So it isn't a consistent part of your life, but it is something that was a skill. I mean, I would love to knit, right? Like, so it's a skill, it's an identity, it's something you can do that not everyone can do. And that's part of you. Is it possible to say, okay, the reality is that I haven't knit in 8 years. So if I knit something, I just need to be able to knit. I don't need all the supplies to start knitting again. If I start knitting again, I'll be able to gather more supplies. But like, you know, it's possible that we could get snowed in. I mean, you're in Wisconsin. We could get snowed in for a week and all the power is out and I might want to knit. Okay. Can you keep your favorite two skeins? Is that what it is? Skeins?
Gains.
Skeins, sorry. If you could you keep your favorite two skeins and your favorite two patterns that you've had nagging in your brain of like, okay, I think I might actually that, and then your favorite knitting needles and like, okay, I'm gonna have that. So if I ever decided to knit again, I've totally got what I need, but I don't have the supplies to have this huge knitting hobby because you don't have a huge knitting hobby anymore. You haven't done it in 8 years, but it's like, I'm not going to give up on it because I think that's the thing is sometimes we feel like, oh, it's all or nothing. I don't knit anymore. Why do I have this stuff? What if I ever do this? It's like, okay, so let's make it possible that you could do it again, but you could have it in a very small
I
area.
have I have a small metal portable file holder,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and I don't use that for files or for to do. It had a purpose, I thought, but I never used it. But I could probably get a an emergency knitting kit put together in that. I love that box, and so it would. But that could also be something that could be put near the couch, and at least if I had a hankering while we watched a movie, I could pick it up.
Yeah. So because sometimes it feels like, well, if I get rid of this stuff, then I can never go back. But if you have enough, you can go back, but you don't need all of that stuff to be a knitter. Just keep the essentials. I think that would be great.
Yeah. Plus that would be more fun.
Yeah.
I am someone who likes to organize or just compartmentalize, decorate, like just a little putting it together. I always
Mhm.
wanted to set up the Barbie stuff, not necessarily play with it once it was done.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah. No, I think you could do that. I think it'd be good. And you're already thinking of the container, right? Like you're already thinking of
right.
okay, this will contain it. It's a small thing. And then you've got two tubs that can go and they're already in the tubs. And literally, from your own experience how incredibly thrilled someone is going to be to find
Right.
all those skeins. See how I said it right that
Look at
time?
you.
All those skeins in the thrift store.
Yeah, now I can make knit some booties for some friends' grandkids, and
Yeah. Well,
I don't
exactly.
have
Because I mean, if you're thinking of, okay, but what's the next phase of life? And will I want it? And will my daughters someday have their own kids? And I'm going to want to make their, okay, you could, those are very small items, right?
right.
So you keep that stuff and okay. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that'll be good.
Okay. What's another situation you want to talk about?
So a lot of when I listen to the podcast, I'm listening from beginning to end. I'm somewhere 1979. Episode 79 is what I'm at, and
I
I
always laugh
see
because I'm like, oh my
that's the year
goodness,
you
those are
started kindergarten.
those are 10 years ago. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, and I heard your dog at the time yap in the background for the first time.
Oh,
Like you've heard them before, but I've never heard it on recording.
that's so
Um,
funny.
anyway, so I identify with a lot of what you said.
Mhm.
On I am a member of the Kindred Spirits. I feel at home in the way you teach, and I identify a lot with your project mentality. But something came up that I didn't identify with, and it like kind of like knifed me a little bit, that I needed to make sure that I started to identify. And it was when you were talking about your mom, how she never made you feel bad for being how you were, which was very different from her.
Yeah.
And so, what I want to do is to be able to encourage my one daughter, who is a treasure keeper.
Mhm.
The other one is super unsentimental, and I have in the past had to keep my mouth shut when she's getting rid of stuff, because I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, but that's so cute. Nope, let it go, let it go. So she's not a problem, but I think the not encouraging thoughts, and I'd want to make sure that I am not in my conversations with her. It's mostly text because she works nights. That she later on can say that I was supportive of her even when living with how her room isn't helpful to the household
Yeah.
in the now.
Yeah. So a couple of things there. I know for my mom, she talks about, I didn't know this at the time. Like I didn't know that she was making this decision, but she's told me how she remembers standing like at my room's door and we were having an argument about something, right? Because I was a teenager and that's just the reality that this happens, right? And so we're having this and she saw my room in the background and it, I as a mom, I can imagine it's like the feeling is, and another thing, your room is about and she says that she just made a conscious decision to not bug me about it anymore because so it's not that my whole life she never said anything about broom. She tried. Oh my goodness, she tried incentives, she tried discipline, she tried all the things, but she made a decision at a point in my life and said, to herself, she didn't tell me, but she said, I'm not going to make this an issue because I don't want there's plenty of other things we all know as moms, right? Like there's plenty of other things. It's like, this is not going to be the thing that's going to hurt our relationship. And so, but that didn't mean that she never addressed it again. It just meant whenever I mentioned frustration, she tried to help me. And so my memory is of her trying to help me.
Okay.
Okay. And so it's not that she completely ignored it. It's just she did not fixate on it as a character issue or as any kind of, she just was determined this is not going to break our relationship. And so she would let it go. But, I mean, obviously, I had to do stuff in there, right? Because I had to find things or I wanted to have people over and it was too embarrassing to have people over or whatever. And so she would help me in that. And she just came alongside me and was like, anytime that I needed help, She was there to help me with it. Now, the thing I wish that, and I don't wish it like I wish she would have done something differently. I'm just like looking back, it would have helped more to declutter instead of organize. Okay. Which in reality, it's easier to feel like you're not not judging someone if you go in and you just try to make everything neater. But she was always doing organizing systems. What we didn't know was that she has a really high clutter threshold. She can handle a lot of stuff. I have a really low clutter threshold. I can't handle a lot of stuff. And so there wasn't any hope of it being maintainable with the amount of stuff that I had. Right. So that is my thing, that looking back in a perfect world, that would have been more helpful, would be for her to help me declutter. And it sounds like your daughter is already doing some of this decluttering on her own, right?
I don't think anything's happening on her own.
Okay.
I think she's definitely someone who thrives if someone else is there. When I was a kid on Saturdays, my mom would let my friend and neighbor come down and help me with my room, but she couldn't leave until her chores were done. But her mom would let me come help with her chores first. So I went up there, helped her with her chores, and then she came down and we would clean my room.
Yeah.
And that was how we spent a lot of Saturdays. And I think that's what
Yeah. And so I
her
think
mode
it's
is
that.
too.
How old is she? Did you say she's
She's 23.
23? So I have a 22-year-old, and it really is. I mean, in these last couple of years, I mean, we're shifting into such a different relationship, right? I mean, like that's just the reality of it. And it's good. It's good, but it is kind of like it, as it is in most things, you're like, I'm here to help when you need me. Like I acknowledge that these are your decisions to make, but always remember that the person who loves you more than anybody in the entire world is right here and would love to help you. So having that mentality of I am coming alongside you to help you, knowing that the 5-step process is one that is non-confrontational, that is acknowledges the person who it's their space, acknowledges their preferences, and does not demean in any way. And so like really even printing out the 5-step process and having it there as this outside of the two of you thing, to where it just kind of is like, yeah, this lady on the internet, like you were saying before, this lady on the internet, this is her process, so sure, I'll just stay in here and hang out with you because that seems to be helpful, right? Like some people call it body doubling or whatever, like I'm just going to be here with you, and I can take stuff places for you if you need me to or whatever, but just like helping out and going through the process and remembering that with that process is things like, okay, well, she says look for the trash first. And so do you see any trash? And bite your tongue when she doesn't see the trash that you see, right? Like that's the sticking point. That's the problem, especially as moms, because as moms, we want to say, do you see the candy wrapper on the floor? Like, hello, it's right here. I mean, like that's the temptation. And yeah, especially here as she's a young adult, and your goal is to preserve the relationship, or maybe show that things are different now versus maybe how you handled some things in the past, and you're trying to show, hey, you're an adult now, I'm treating you differently, whatever. Really going in with that, and just the fact that you don't point out trash, you just take her word for it when she says, no, that's all the trash I see, and then you move to the next step. Okay, let's, because we'll get to everything in the process, like, right, like if the candy wrapper is still there with trash, well, then we're going to pick it up in step 4 and say, if you needed this candy wrapper, where would you look for it first? You know what I mean? And we're not going to say it like, where would you look for it first? We're just going to say, we're going to say, so where would you look for it first? And then she goes, in the trash bag. And then you laugh with her and you put it in the trash bag and you keep moving. And that helps build that trust, and, and, and also keeps her on track and encourages. And then just to lament, when she laments, oh, my room is always so messy, just, I know, I know. I mean, it's just that lady talks about your clutter threshold, and it's like, I so want to keep this stuff, but it's more than I can handle. And so that's why I've had to get rid of stuff because I've realized it's just more than I could actually handle. And, man, I know it stinks, but man, it's so much easier when I get stuff out, and so just, does that make any sense?
Yeah, and it also made me think of the you can keep everything or
Anything.
anything you want, but you can't keep everything.
Right.
And
Right.
by giving that freedom that any item can be kept, I think keeps helps me to remember to keep my preferences out of her room.
Yeah. If
Um,
it's important to you to keep it, it needs to go in your space. But also, it's like the container concept allows, and I say this with little kids, but it's a similar type of vibe here too. But it's, the container is full. They find their favorite thing and they're like, but I want to keep this. Okay. What are you willing to get rid of so that we'll have room for it? Oh, I don't want to get rid of anything. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, instead of it being, well, that's the way it is, it literally, my response gets to be hugging my child and saying, isn't this so hard? Instead of saying, you just got to do it. It's like, that's part of that accepting of reality of like, this is so hard. Let's be sad for a moment that not everything fits. And it's just a different, I don't know.
yeah, that makes sense. We have some next to my bins of knitting materials are some old stuffed animals, and they are the Webkins, the prizes that they won for memorizing verses, and
Yeah.
all very precious, precious things. And the last time it got winnowed down to 2 huge tubs. But I told her that those weren't on the shelves anymore and they needed to be gone through and mourned a little bit, and to go ahead and just, it's okay to be sad that the time for having them is over. So then the next time I walk past the bin, I can just interrupt her for a few minutes and say, you know what, let's look at these and say goodbye to some. And
Yeah.
um,
Or remember that it's a valid step to just look through it the first time.
okay.
Like, look, always look is a big strategy. And so it's like, yeah,
Oh,
let's
so we're
take a,
looking for trash so we can visit
yeah,
them while we look for trash.
right. Like, let's just look through it. And then, I mean, that often ends up being a very special time, right? And so then it's a warm fuzzy associated with decluttering as opposed to gearing up for a fight associated with decluttering, right? So for this time, what we're going to do is let's just look through all this stuff. If we happen to find trash, we'll throw that away. But other than that, we're not going to worry about it. It's amazing at how often, with the trash can sitting right there, a lot more goes in the trash than you would imagine. But even if it doesn't, our actual goal right now is non-committal looking through it and having this, this moment. And that, being allowed to enjoy the stuff as opposed to feeling like if I get this out, I'm going to be judged for it, often will help identify the things that really aren't even that enjoyable. You know what I mean? Where if my fear is that I'm going to be judged for this thing, then I'm holding on to everything. Because I
Right.
am not going to justify and I am not going to whatever. I'm just gonna hold on.
That makes sense.
But she's doing good. Like, if she's getting rid of stuff with her friend,
Oh yeah, no, I'm
that's
I'm
amazing.
so excited. It's like a little jump forward down her adulting path.
I know. I know.
And so that's
And that was my mom for years. I mean, basically until she got to where her health really wouldn't let her anymore. But I mean, she was always willing, even when I had little kids, she was always willing to, if I said, Mom, can you come help me clean out my kitchen? And she would be there and we would work on it together. And so I was always excited for her to come because I knew that she would make things better. So, that for me with my own kids, I think about stuff like that. And I'm like, that's what I want. I want them to be excited about me showing up instead of dreading
right.
it, which, it
Absolutely.
sounds like y'all have an amazing relationship. I mean, the fact that this is your number one concern. I mean, that's That's amazing.
Yeah, the other stuff seems to be going pretty good. My the where would you find it first helps with my husband. He thinks things are very precious and treasures also,
Hmm.
but I have declared that my kitchen counter is not for anything other than cooking. And so everyone lands their stuff, and I just conversationally move it to where I would like it to be at the moment. And but a couple of things. Where would you look for this first? And he's like, I'm like, your dresser, because if I had to look for it for you, that's where I would look for it.
Yeah. If it's me that people are going to ask anyway, then I'm just going to go with where I would look for it first. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Love it.
And we have a new rescue cat who decided to cause some problems underneath our bed, and so I cleaned and had to move several tens of pairs of his water sandals. And he's got, outdoor working water sandals. He's got dress sandals. And he thought that was funny that I said that. I'm like, but really, he does. He's got some that are only for if he's not going to get them dirty. And so they're all out. And I'm like, I just need you to look and see if any need to go away. And he looks at them and he's like, nope. And he does repair them, and he takes good care of them. He washes them when they get lawn stuff on them. I'm like, okay, not a problem. I'm just gonna let you know I'm gonna separate them and put the yard ones in this area over here, because where they were, there was too many for that area or container, and that's why the cat was able to get to where she shouldn't have been.
Ah,
And he's
yeah.
like, okay, yeah, no problem. So we are container concepting his stuff
Yeah.
while still, if he wants to have that many, he has more shoes than I do, then that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, and it acknowledges their preferences and that they are adults and they have, they can make, but it gives parameters to make those decisions within either that are based in reality and not in your preference.
Right.
Yeah.
Blaming the container,
Yeah.
blaming the outside parameter is is something that I appreciate being able to do,
Yeah. Very
because
much.
I can be the boss, but nobody likes me when I'm the boss.
Exactly. Well, and as your kids are turning into adults, that's the shift that has to be made, right? Like is okay, technically still, yes, it's your house. Yes, you're the one who runs things, but at the same time, we want to shift into a different kind of relationship there for sure,
Yeah.
which the container makes that so much easier. Yeah.
And my daughter's schedule is, something I'm helping her with, is it shifts all the time, but she always has 2 days off.
Hmm.
And so I've told her her first day off is her laundry day. Even if I'm the one helping her with it, I'm like, okay, so when you get home, your laundry comes down,
Mhm.
and that way it gets done by the time it's time for her to go back to work, and her week starts well.
That's great.
And that I'm trying to help set up her system so that when she decides to move, then she won't be lost.
Yeah.
My mom
Yeah.
always said she wishes she made me do more, because I don't know, maybe she didn't think I did enough chores. I was an only child. But I learned how to clean house up at my neighbor's house when I was helping her. Her mom taught me how to. And my kids know how to do the things. They have gone through the cycles of,
Well, and
everyone had the bathroom chore or
yeah.
whatever. So
And the reality is, as someone whose mom taught me things, they're still going to have to make this their own at some point. I mean, like whether it's because they learn it from scratch or whether it's because they remember what you taught them when they were younger, because I mean, you know how it is. They go through this phase of teenagers where they just like forget a lot of the things that they've been taught, right? So they will have to make it their own. It'll be their own home at some point and it'll be different for them. And, you know, they'll maybe they'll come to you, and you want to preserve that relationship. So when they come to you, then, they come to you for the help, knowing that you're going to be able to give it without judgment. So what's another thing that you wanted to talk about?
So we have, my husband and I both teach scuba and we teach water rescue.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have large amount, well, during the season, our house for several days a week looks like a scuba shop. And
So what is the season?
well, I'm teaching classes right now. Water classes start in April, and then the season is really from May through October.
Okay.
So it's most of the time,
I was going to say, so
really.
that basically it's more like, rather than season, there's a small off season, basically.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
We have an off season, and that's when Christmas stuff is out.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband, he decorates for Halloween. So fall and winter have pretty things out, and it's neoprene everywhere on the other times. And so I think it's more of I need a put it there now process with and figuring out where things can be, or the value of not leaving it out just because in 5 days we're going to have to haul it out again.
I mean, it sounds like that stuff deserves real space in your home because it's used consistently. And real space would be space where it is super easy to put it there. And nothing else has to be shifted or moved in order to put it away. Like, so it's almost like it needs the space to be, but it needs, in addition to that, open space around it. Do you have any kind of a space like that? Don't think necessarily about what's in there right now, but do you have a room that would fit all that stuff?
So we have a basement,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a cement area, and then a game room area, which isn't used for that, but still has the large game tables in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where it gets kind of left.
Is that
Uh,
where it ends up, or does it?
that's its home when it's not in my eat-in kitchen, like right on the way to the back door. So
Okay, so
the first floor doesn't have anywhere except, I would want to say, my dining room, but that is because we don't use it except for, I don't know, we used it at Thanksgiving for a week when we had house guests. And I think we've eaten there twice, 3 times since then, and it's almost March.
okay.
And I think that the table and chairs could go, and we could turn it into I was thinking a sitting room, but to be honest, making it a dive room would honor the life that we choose to live, but also recognize that we dread the weight of everything going up and down the basement stairs.
That's what I was going to say. If there's a lot of lugging is
Yes, yes.
it's a definite like hindrance to actually doing this thing. Okay, so let's kind of think this through, because I don't know how to picture your dining room. Like, my old dining room was like the first thing you saw when you walked in the house, and there was no way to not see it. My current dining room is kind of a room that, like, it's now what I call my dog's room, because it's blocked off. Like, it is, like, it truly could be a storage room if we needed it to be, so, like, is this a place that you are willing to devote to that, or would you need to have some sort of what would you need to make this happen?
Okay, so we have a colonial style home,
Okay.
big columns in the front and 2 stories. All the bedrooms are upstairs, and the two full baths are upstairs. You walk in the hallway, the dining room's to the right. There's a built-in 180-gallon fish tank as you walk down the hall, so you can see into the dining room through that.
Okay.
And then at the back of the house is the kitchen, and then off to the left is the family room. And to be honest, that is where we eat. That's where we watch
Okay.
TV.
If you put up a curtain covering the entrance to the dining room and maybe a curtain behind the fish tank, would you feel totally fine letting any random person come in your door? Here's what I don't want you to do is to put it somewhere where now all of a sudden you're embarrassed to open your front door.
Now, see, I'm thinking it could be in there, and if we styled it like a dive shop showroom, we would not be embarrassed at all.
Yeah.
And then during the off season, it goes downstairs, and that's when we would be having any house guests, and we could use white folding tables, and we borrow chairs from church anyway. So that is a big out of the box thinking, but I love adventures and I'm not moving. We just decided in the last month that we're not going to, we thought we were going to pull up stakes and head south,
Okay.
and it looks like we're staying. So I'm a little more invested and feeling a little more creative
Yeah.
about the
I
house.
I think that I mean, like, if it's something that you're totally excited about and having there, and it could stay under control because it just eliminates all those that extra lugging and the extra time and the extra dragging and the, trips up the stairs and stuff like that. If that's something you're fine with, I mean, it deserves space in your home. Maybe you live with it for a while and you realize, okay, this isn't actually what I want, but that solution then reveals to you the next solution or whatever.
Right.
But
I mean, because right now I'm sure I have dive gear in the eat-in kitchen. I know there's some on the couch. There's some in front of the fireplace. So it's already all over the first floor
well, and
while the
thinking about
actual
it,
boxes are downstairs.
right, and you think about it that way and you go, a 5-minute pickup could get all that stuff to its home if its home is that easily accessible.
Right.
Where a 5-minute pickup, if you've got different dive equipment spread everywhere, then it almost feels like, what's the point of a 5-minute pickup? Because I'm never going to get all the way down the stairs with all those different trips and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it just makes it easier, more easily
Well, and I
accessible.
just had a second, the little room I'm in, I think it was a breakfast room. It had a chair rail in it, and it actually is off of the kitchen and off of the dining room. And my husband has always hated this room because it's been kind of an office, but it always has stuff on the floor, and it's always out of
So
its
that
own
room,
control. This
that room
actually
would
might
be
make more
even
sense.
that would be even better, because that's my only hesitation on the dining room is, if because I get it, like, I get it, I'm like, I'm all about my whatever I'm into, like, I'm totally fine, but I just don't want you to have those moments where you're like, oh no, we have to but if it's in that room and that room really is like off and also easily accessible, then you don't have to completely undo it every October to February, right?
Right.
Like, it could just, that could be its actual ongoing forever home, which would be way
Yeah,
better. Yeah.
it would. And he would like it because it would be more us, not just me. That would be cool.
Okay. Well, and then that eliminates this problem area that's always just kind of been shifty, right?
Right. And he's always like, I just donated a screen that he brought home for free because he's like, well, it's to cover up the office from the dining room. Like, I will pick up the stuff on the floor. We
Yeah.
couldn't get rid of the screen that we never put up. So yeah, that this room would make him so happy if it wasn't anything of what it's doing right now.
That's cool. Okay. Well, we solved all your problems, right? Did you have
We
any other?
did. I don't have any problems now.
Okay, good. Phew. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, tell me what you love about being a kindred spirit.
I always have a place to go if I need encouragement or to just let out if I have a disappointment or frustration. There is zero judgment, and nobody, they'll let me wallow a little, but then there's always someone saying, that's hard, but hey, look what you can do, or they point out something positive.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to know that. And getting to have the phone call once a month
Mm-hmm.
that is moved at different times. So you hear different people on it around the world, knowing that there's at any time of day, there is someone out there understanding what I am trying to accomplish in my home.
Yeah. I love it. It's so fun. It's such a fun group. Those calls, we actually, as we're speaking, we have one here in about an hour, right? I don't know if you're going to be able to be at it.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, this has been really fun. I'm glad I solved all your problems and and that you're good. But I'm excited because I just feel like let's honor the reality of the space. And the truth is too, once you go put it all in that one space, like it will naturally help you eliminate the lesser of the stuff or the, oh yeah, we haven't actually used that piece of equipment in 6 or 7 years because now it's been improved and we have a different, whatever. But just like
Right.
that action of that will probably naturally eliminate some things and make it less.
And not lugging it up and down the basement stairs.
Yes, that's huge.
That's
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 huge.
probably number one. It's why I don't take my box and put it away. I will
Mhm.
say that.
Yeah. Because that turns it into like a special event to put it all away as opposed to an everyday put it away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if I can make it part of the routine, then the rest of the house will
Yeah.
not suffer for it.
Right. Exactly. Okay, Danielle, love that conversation. Just a reminder, if you would like to know more about joining our Kindred Spirits group, about being a Patreon member, go to patreon.com/a slob comes clean. All right. I will talk to y'all next week.